What happens after a connection is cleanly broken? Whether it's a failed romantic relationship, a fired employee, an ended partnership, or someone being quietly frozen out of a social circle. The initial rejection is over. The no was delivered. But for many, the story doesn't end there. Instead, it enters a dark, subterranean phase that almost nobody talks about. The rejected party often feels powerless, exposed, and deeply humiliated because they no longer have the platform or the power to confront the person who rejected them directly. They turn to a subtle, toxic form of mild revenge, stigmatization. They whisper in corners, rewrite history, weaponize psychological labels, and slowly paint the rejecting party as a villain, a narcissist, or a monster to the surrounding community. In clinical psychology, a severe or unexpected rejection triggers what is known as a narcissistic injury, a profound, destabilizing blow to the ego and self-worth. When an individual lacks the emotional maturity or the psychological resilience to process the raw grief and shame of being cast out, that shame instantly mutates into reactive, defensive rage. However, showing your rage openly only confirms that the other person was right to leave you, and the anger goes underground, transforming into what clinicians call relational aggression. By stigmatizing the rejecting party to mutual friends, colleagues, or the public, the rejected party achieves a false, intoxicating sense of justice. It allows them to psychologically flip the script. They get to shift from the humiliation of being the helpless victim of rejection to the righteous power of being the public accuser. In Buddhist philosophy, when someone responds to rejection by spreading rumors or tearing down the person who rejected them, Buddhist teachings on vachikama, aka verbal karma, identify several unwholesome forms of speech at work simultaneously. False speech, which means fabricating or distorting facts. Another one is divisive speech. It means sowing discord and damaging the other person's relationships. And the third one is harsh speech. It means words weaponized to wound. The root of these unwholesome forms of speech, as we discussed earlier, is krodha or apanaha and upanaha, meaning anger that has nowhere constructive to go, so it finds its outlet through the tongue. If left unexamined, this pattern doesn't just harm the target, it deepens the perpetrator's own suffering, binding them tighter to the very wound they're trying to escape. But when the underlying aversion is recognized and released, the verbal karma will stop accumulating, and the possibility of genuine healing opens up. If you're tracking an ongoing, obsessive loop of anger in the root column of Anger Logbook 2, look closely at whether it stems from a broken connection or a past rejection. Be brutally honest with yourself and ask, am I using gossip, labels, or stigmatization to punish someone who simply had the right to say no to me? Am I burning down their reputation just to avoid feeling the raw, clean pain of my own humiliation? The cure for you is to stop the smear campaign. Look in the mirror and finally grieve the loss. Stop fighting wars in the shadows. If you were rejected, simply face the grief. Mourn your loss. That's the only way to true healing.